So Matthew, a lot of the questions I ask are just like, always general like business, life advice. Um, and it's never really questions that I ask are ever really related to like academic, stuff. And it makes me wonder, I feel like I have so much pressure put on me about like school, I'm doing all this great stuff with you this summer with commercial real estate, and I want to continue doing it during the school year. But then I have school and like my grades are important. Um, but then at the same time, like I feel like doing all this stuff with you and going out is super important too. So I guess the question I'm asking is, how do you um, find the best utility for your time if when in school and you're trying to manage grades as well as like your professional development? How do you do that?
Paul, my advice on this is just to break down the way you think of it, okay? So don't think of it between like grades and getting good grades and then work. Think of it in terms of learning. Think of it all in terms of learning, right? Learning for what you want to do, right? Or what you see your vision as being at the current moment, right? So gravitate towards those things where you're learning the most. Make sure in your classes that you're learning as much as you can from your professors. Make sure that when you're at Elifin, you're learning, or any other internship you do, you're learning as much as you can from the people in that company. Just make sure you're learning as much as you can always, and know that if you're doing that, then you are doing the right thing. And if you're not learning in a job or an internship or a class, or and you got to look in the mirror and say, is it me? Am I the reason why I'm not learning? It can't be because like the professor's a bad professor or whatever, at first, that might be the case, right? Or it might be your boss, a bad boss, not teaching you anything. But you got to see, is there, what can I do? Who's around here that I can learn from? Who else is in the class that I can learn from? Maybe it's a graduate assistant. Maybe at the job, maybe it's maybe it's not the person you work directly for. Maybe it's somebody else within the company. But you got to always just make sure you're learning and get the stress about grades and, just like if you were doing an internship and you asked me about, should you worry about making X amount of dollars per hour when you're really worth much more than that, I would say focus on the learning. Don't stress over the other things. Make sure that you're maximizing the amount of knowledge that you can get from either experience.